Okay? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We wish to acknowledge the presence of our city officials, our city mayor, the Honorable Maria Leonor G. Robredo, our city councilors, our SP Committee Chair on Culture and the Arts, Councilor David Casper Nathan Serio, Councilor Wilfredo A. Jogno, our SK Federation President, Councilor Jefferson Romeo B. Felix, our Provincial Director of DTI Camarines Sur, Provincial Director J. Percival Ablan, the City Director of the Naga City Police Office, Police Colonel Gilbert Farinas. We are also honored to be joined by the family, the relatives of Bishop Jorge Barlin from the Imperial family. Ladies and gentlemen, we wish to acknowledge the presence of the Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Cáceres and the Parish Priest of St. Francis de Assisi Parish, San Francisco, Naga City, Reverend Father Wilfred Almoneda. Once again, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to our commemoration of the 176th birth anniversary of Bishop Jorge Barlin. In 1850, in the town of Baao, Camarines Sur, a remarkable figure was born, Jorge Alfonso Imperial Barlin, the first Filipino bishop of the Roman Catholic Church, whose life of faith, humility, and service helped shape the church in Bicol. Today, we gather to commemorate his 176th birth anniversary and recognize his lasting contribution to our history and identity as Filipinos. Ladies and gentlemen, we begin our program with the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. We request everyone to please rise. At this point, we now proceed with the wreath-laying ceremony to the monument of our first Filipino bishop, Jorge Barlin, to be facilitated by the personnel of the Naga City Police Office. The wreath-laying ceremony will be led by our City Mayor, the Honorable Maria Leonor G. Robredo, together with the Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Cáceres, Reverend Father Wilfred Almoneda, and the honorable members of the Sangguniang Panlungsod, Councilor David Casper Nathan Serio, Councilor Jude Jokno, and our SK Federation President, Councilor Jefferson Romeo B. Felix. They will be assisted by the City Director of the Naga City Police Office, Police Colonel Gilbert Fariñas. And that concludes our wreath-laying sermon. We thank the personnel of the Naga City Police Office, our city officials, and the members of the clergy of the Archdiocese of Casas. May we request our personnel of the Naga City Police Office and the Public Safety Office to please be at ease. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we now listen to the welcome message from the SP Committee Chairperson on Culture and the Arts, Councilor David Casper Nathan Serio.
Maray na hapon po sa Gabos. Pagtaong galang sa mga opisyalis ng syudad, sa tuyang Honorable Alcalde Maria Leonor Hirona Robredo, mga pagiribang konsyal na yaong pudigdi, Konsyal Jude Jokno, Konsyal Jefferson Perix, and pamayo kang Police Force kang Naga, Colonel Gilbert Pariñas, sir. And Vicar General kan Archdiocese, Father Wilfred Almoneda, Padre. Mga public safety personnel, police personnel kang Naga, and mga amigo sa media, sa academ, and mga proud descendants kan Family Imperial, Imperial Family Association Incorporated, yun ang board, led by Dr. Ronnie Imperial Urzua. Although di pa siya nabot, yun ang mga pag-iniba sa board. At sa tuyang speaker nyo niyan, miyembro kang Imperial Clan, ang DTI Provincial Director Percival J. Ablan, miyembro man kang Imperial Clan. Salamat na nakaarabot tabi ka mo. Mas memorable ining okasyon tayaon ang pamilya Imperial. As chairman of the Sangguniang Palusod Committee on Culture and the Arts, it is a privilege to welcome you as we honor the first Filipino to be elevated to the episcopacy, Bishop Jorge Barlin E. Imperial. Bishop Barlin's life was defined by unshakable core. When offered the highest position in the schismatic Aglipayan movement in 1902, he delivered a legendary response that defined his commitment to the Roman Catholic Church. I prefer to be a sweeper than to be the head of your schismatic hierarchy. Mas maring pangayang maging para samod na lang ako kaysa maging leader kang organisasyon nindo. This bold refusal, uttered during a time of intense political and religious pressure, preserved the unity of Catholicism in the Philippines. It is his most significant contribution, ensuring that the Filipino Church remained anchored to the universal faith during the turbulent birth of our nation. To our nation, Bishop Barlin remains profoundly relevant as a symbol of sovereignty and dignity. By proving himself a cut above the rest, he dismantled the colonial prejudice that claimed Filipinos were unfit for high leadership. He showed that the Bicolano could not stand as a peer to any global leader, making him a true pioneer of Filipino excellence. To the members of Imperial Clan, your presence today is a beautiful reminder that his legacy is not just historical, it is living. You carry the same blood that fueled his courage. We thank you for continuing to steward the memory of your kinsman, Esana Baao and Naga, who gave our race a voice in the halls of the Vatican. Welcome, and let us celebrate the good soldier of Christ. Bishop Barlin's motto, Bonus Melis Christi, still challenges us to serve with dignity today. Maray na hapon po.
Thank you very much, Councilor David Casper Nathan Serio. At this point, let us all welcome our lecturer. He is the chairperson of the Social Sciences Department of Ateneo de Naga University. He is currently pursuing his doctorate in history at De La Salle University, Manila, and holds a Master of Arts in History from Ateneo de Manila University. He is actively engaged in both academic and cultural work and a member of the Nueva Cáceres Heritage Movement Incorporated and the music sector of the Naga City Arts and Culture Coalition Incorporated. He also serves as a research associate at the Bicol Historical Research Center and as research director of the Imperial Family Association Incorporated. For 2 consecutive years, he was conferred the Ateneo de Naga University Administrator and Faculty Exemplary Award. He has presented his research in various local and international conferences, contributing significantly to the fields of history and cultural studies. At present, he is completing his dissertation, which focuses on the urban morphology, transportation history, and mobility of Nueva Cáceres, from the late Spanish colonial period to the post-war era. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Mr. Leo Paulo Imperial.
Just maray na hapon po to our dear Mayor Leni Robredo, to Councilor Nathan Serio, who gave a very profound description of the life of George Barlin, to Father Wilfred Almoneda, to the Councilor Jefferson Felix, Jude Jokno, and also to Colonel Gilbert Faurillo, and all the people who are here for participating in this glorious event. And also, I would like to also acknowledge the members of the Imperial Family Association. They were in Albay, and they naghabol sinda para po maka-attend this event na ni, because we are trying to, as a member of the Imperial Family Association, we are trying to connect. Kami po sa mga Imperial, iko kaming inaapod na imagined community. We feel like we are all related. Dawa pa anong degree, basta Imperial ka related. That's why we claim Bishop George Barlin, who was also part of our ancestry. And in our last reunion, we actually gave honor to Bishop George Barlin. So this is actually full circle, since 6 years ago, I was invited in Baao to also commemorate George Barlin in Baao in their plaza because meron din may monument din si George Barlin in they call it the Barlin Park, right in front of the church. So it's also a very important figure, not only in Naga but also in Baao, and of course the rest of Bicol. So again, this is a full circle moment. So I was tasked to talk about Bishop George Imperial Barlin. We've seen his name. If you're from Naga, most probably you've seen this monument, this ubiquitous monument, probably 100 or 1,000 times. You might have read his name in books, in street names, and of course a very profound moniker or title given to Bishop Barlin is he is the very first bishop, Filipino bishop in the Philippines. And this is to go beyond the fondness of Filipino, because if you observe, Filipinos are very fond of the first, the last, the longest, the largest, and if we try to look into the discipline of history, it's actually much more deeper. We could actually look into and historicize what's the meaning behind him being conferred the very first bishop of the Philippines. And from that point, we could actually historicize not only Bishop Barlin's life, but also what was happening in Bicol. And I believe that's the role of history. It's not only about names, places, and events, but actually looking at contextualizing things. And I think currently in the state of the Philippines, we lack context. Okay, so that's why we make a lot of mistakes in our decisions and actions. For the past few years, there have been a lot of commemoration on George Barlin, and I'm very fortunate that I was fortunate to be part of some of this commemoration, I think, in the last 6 years. So LGU Naga has been very active in promoting our history and culture. But today, I want to try to, most of the commemorations talked about his legacy, his life, and I think the gap is actually how do we connect Barlin in the daily lives of the people. Particularly, I want to hopefully target the young individuals, the Gen Zs, the youth, which we consider the digital natives, the future of the future and dreamers of Naga and Bicol. So how do we connect the life of Barlin, who's actually very distinct? Because if you look at his life, he was actually straddling between empires. He was very significant during the in the tail end of the Spanish colonial period, particularly the twilight years of the Spanish colonial period. And upon entering the rise of the American power, he was also very crucial, and also during the nascent years of the Philippine Republic. So if we try to look at that, he was actually, in terms of temporality and spatiality, he was straddling in this in the changes of the events that were happening in this transition in the Philippines. And in history, we have this methodology that we incorporate in the study of history. Aside from looking at documents, primary sources, we actually have social memory. So social memory is actually a new methodology in looking at history that does not solely rely on documents, but how people perceive certain monuments, certain individuals, or certain institutions. And one thing very interesting about it is that every generation has a different perception or perspective of a particular event, a particular monument, and how they would remember it. And most social memory, or the predominant social memory of Barlin, focuses or paints him as the harbinger of Bicolano pride. But if we try to look at it and go deeper in his life, he was an individual who actually encountered a lot of difficult choices. He was immersed in a lot of pressure. Councilor Nathan Serio was talking about the schism, the Sikhism, the separation of the church, the Philippinization, this post-colonial clamor during the time of Barlin. And also, we have to look also into his unshakable internal compass. So what was the world like during the time of Barlin? We could actually pinpoint Barlin's journey began in 1862 when at an early age of 12 years old, he enrolled in Seminario Conciliar de Nueva Cáceres, the minor seminary. And when he graduated around 1874, 1875, It was actually a tumult, just to contextualize it from the national perspective, it was actually a tumultuous year in the Philippines. In 1872, there was a very significant event that happened in Cavite. There was the Cavite Mutiny, and in 1872, the Gumburza were executed. So who are the Gumburza? Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora, who were the three priests who pioneered the secularization. And why is the issue of secularization very important? Because during this time, there was a battle in the church, the regulars and the seculars, and to put it in a nutshell, they were fighting of who would be managing the parishes. The seculars, supposedly, they should be the one to manage the parishes, but the regulars did not want to give up their position. So yung mga regulars, there are the Franciscans, the Jesuits, the Recollects, the Benedictines. Yeah. So Barlin was actually immersed in that type when he graduated. And being a priest and being ordained a priest during that time was not merely a vocation or a mission, but it was actually a political statement. Because during the time when Indios or Filipinos were actually not recognized or belittled during that time, it was a political statement for George Barlin. But despite all this radical political turmoil that was happening in the Philippines, Bishop Barlin did not choose the path of a radical life. He actually served in Bicol. He was under the mentorship of a very significant individual also in Bicol, Bishop Francisco Gainza, was a visionary. That's why we have the Colegio de Santa Isabel. We have the regional celebration with the Peña Francia. We have to accredit that to, we have the Gainza Trade Fair. Okay, so we can actually connect a lot of developments in Bicol with Francisco Gainza. And he was under the tutelage or the mentorship of Gainza. And he served as the mayordomo or secretary of the cathedral. When I was looking at the monument of Barlin, even until now, he's looking after the cathedral. Literally, he's looking at the cathedral. But he was, even though as a priest, he was actually facing the same struggle that an Indio was actually facing. There was a point in time when an Agustinian bishop led Nueva Cáceres. He was actually exiled in Siruma and also Libog Albay or Santo Domingo Albay at present. But he did not see that exile as sort of a demerit to him. Even though he was exiled, he still practiced, it was referred to in literature as a quiet service, quiet excellence, despite being exiled. But his ecclesiastical, he goes beyond his ecclesiastical role. He actually, in the social memory of people, of Bicolanos, he actually held a very important position as a vicar foreign of Sorsogon. And one thing very significant about it, beyond his ecclesiastical duties, during the height of the resistance or the revolution, and we could actually connect it with Naga. In September of 1898, Elias Angeles and Felix Plazo, Guardia Civil, actually led a revolt in Naga, which eventually ousted the Spanish here. And one thing interesting, it was not actually very much related to the Katipunan. They had a different struggle. So if we tend to contextualize history, we don't have to always connect with what was happening in Manila or Katagalugan. We have our own narrative, and we also have our own story. And that news of the successful revolt of natives in Naga spread like wildfire and even reached Sorsogon. So it somehow it caused fear into the Spanish colonial administration of Sorsogon, and that during that time, Governor Villamil, who was the governor of Sorsogon, decided to flee and actually gave the keys of the province to George Barlin. So what would a bishop, in terms of his duties, know about how to run the province? But he did not actually decline that opportunity in a way. But what was the implication of that decision to actually hold the position as governor of Albay? He actually filled in this vacuum of power in Albay, and in a way it mitigated the atrocities that They were anticipating in Sorsogon because a Filipino was actually heading the province instead of a Spanish. But another very crucial event in his life, it was mentioned by Councilor Nathan Serio, was during the American colonial period, and where there was clamor for Filipinization, claiming recognition because when they ousted Spain, certain Filipino groups or institutions wanted to also be in the forefront of this transitionary changes that was happening in the Philippines. And even the church was actually experiencing those changes. Prominent figures such as Isabelo de los Reyes and Gregorio Aglipay, who founded the Iglesia Filipina Independiente, were actually on a massive campaign to Philippinize the church, the Aglipayan movement. And there was a very tempting offer by Gregorio Aglipay to Bishop Barlin. Bishop Barlin was offered one of the highest position in the Aglipayan church. But as mentioned by Councilor Nathan a while ago, Bishop Barlin declined that he would rather mop the floor than to serve this schematic or the schematic church that Aglipay was actually pushing forward. But that simple decline was actually very crucial for the flourishing of the church and also strengthening the church or the Catholic Church during that time. If you would look at a primary source to see that conflict, there was a landmark case, actually Barlin versus Ramirez in 1906, and they were fighting for the land of the Aglipayan. The Aglipayan were claiming certain territories, and when Barlin won that and the territories were given back to the Catholic Church, it was actually a victory not only of Barlin but also of the Catholic Church, because it prevented the spread or proliferation of the Aglipayan Church in Bicol. And for that feat, his reward was on June 29, 1906, he was named the very first Filipino bishop. And it was actually another crucial role that he did was he actually led the invocation in the First Philippine Assembly in Malolos. And he stood up there, not just a mere priest, but he was actually the new spiritual face of the nation. Right? So those were the crucial episodes in the life of Barlin. So how do we connect it now, particularly to the younger generation? What lessons can we extract from the legacies of George Barlin? One thing is that we could actually look in terms of leadership. Very good quality that we could look into Barlin. Barlin lived in a tumultuous period where was political transition, and at that time he was not ready for leadership, as claimed by literature. But by becoming the governor, the first Filipino bishop during the Hispano-Americanized society, it was a proof that Barlin, you could be at any room or any country, or you could actually hold any position. And I could actually relate it to this very controversial statement that Rizal uttered in a brindis in Spain, that when he mentioned that genius knows no country. Right? And I think Barlin also exemplified that quality. Barlin was also pressured by very powerful people and institutions to change his principles. Okay? But in the age of that period, Barlin teaches us integrity is our only true currency. And the same that we're experiencing now, if we tend to connect it now, there's really parallelism with what Barlin was experiencing. Our country now, or we have experienced epidemics, an epidemic. During that time, Barlin also, it was not noted, but if you look at the early American period or 19th century, we were actually ravaged by the cholera epidemic. And actually that was also one challenge that Barlin was actually facing. When he became Vicar of Sorsogon, he dealt with the actual epidemics and also the literal fires of the revolution. So now, how do we keep Barlin alive, especially for the younger generations? I think it's a challenge for the young people to actually don't look at foreign idols. We actually have our own. And to understand Barlin, of course, is not just to look at the monuments. We have to read, we have to contextualize him. Okay? Another thing is, it's also a calling for academic institutions to actually include Barlin in the curriculum and not just treat him as mere hagiography. I believe that CHED is pushing for a new course, Bicol Culture, and I think it's a good opportunity to actually include our heroes, not just Barlin. We have the 15 Martires, and we also have other very prominent individuals across generation. So as we celebrate Barlin Day, let us just not stop memorializing his relic. Let's see Barlin as a mirror of our collective consciousness and also the story of our nation or the Bicol region. So, Diyos mabalos po.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leo Paulo Imperial. And to deliver us his message in behalf of the Archbishop of Cáceres, Most Reverend Rex Andrew Clement Alarcon, ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome the Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Cáceres, Most Reverend Wilfred Almoned.
Your Honor, Mayor Maria Leonor Chirobredo, Honorable David Casper Nathan Serio, Honorable members of the Sangguniang Panglusod, Mr. Leo Paulo Imperial, thank you for the message. Colonel Gilbert Farinas, our PNP Naga head, from the members of the Imperial and Barlin clan, distinguished guests, beloved Nagueños, Diyos maray na hapon po sa Indogabos. Nagpapabot po nin maray na hapon asin pagbati ang sa itong ginagalangan na Arsobispo Most Reverend Rex Andrew C. Alarcon, pati ang sa iyong pakikisumaro sa gabos na yaon digdi sa commemoration na ini. Today we remember Bishop Barlin, but more than that, we are asked to become like him. This is a life that teaches. Having learned about the history of Bishop Jorge Barlin from both the stories and the accounts of our historians, allow me to share some reflections that could illumine our contemporary paths. Barlin was not born in Naga, but formed in Naga. It was here that he was trained, it was here that he was noticed and mentored under Bishop Francisco Gainza. Yet his defining moment did not happen in the cathedral, it happened in Siroma. When he was sidelined, quietly removed from influence, he was sent to a remote fishing village. No prestige, no audience, no spotlight. And he went, not with bitterness, but with obedience. That assignment, which looked like a setback, became the force of his character. Years later, when revolution came and power shifted from Spain to Filipino revolutionaries to Americans, Barlin became the steady hand in Sorsogon as Vicar Foreign, not because he chased power, but because he had learned how to serve without it. And when Gregorio Aglipay offered him leadership of a breakaway church, Barlin answered with a sentence history would never forget: "Prefiero ser lampacero a ser la cabeza de su jerarquía cismática." I'd rather be a janitor than be the head of your schismatic hierarchy. He chose fidelity over prominence. And later, in a landmark case, it was between Barlin versus Vicente Ramirez. Si Vicente Ramirez siya ang Vicar Foreign dyan sa may partido area na naging aglipay. And kadaklan ng mga tao dyan naging aglipay. And Barlin was invited. Ay katong siya yaw na nigdi, he was the one who fought. Dinhulita so mga properties, so simbahan, kung nakaduman na po kamo sa Lagunoy, magkataning lang ang simbahan kan, sabi ni na Romano, sa good ang mga aglipayan. No? Ano ba nang kasabi, pareho man sana. Actually, yan, simbahan kan Lagunoy na yan, naging nasakop yan kan mga aglipay, na yan ang balik ni Jorge Barlin. No? He defended the church not with force, but through the courts, helping shape Philippine jurisprudence. That is not a history trivia, this is a pattern for life. Two virtues then that made him great. First, faithful endurance in obscurity. Siruma was not a punishment, it was preparation. Barlin teaches us where you are now matters less than how you are there. Today, many of our people feel stuck, passed over, unrecognized, working hard without reward. Barlin says, your siruma is not your ending, it is your training ground. Stay faithful even when unseen, especially when unseen. Second, courage under pressure. When offered power, Barlin refused compromise. He had moral clarity. Today, we face similar tests, not always dramatic, but just as real. Do we stay silent when truth is costly? Do we accept what is convenient rather than what is right? Barlin reminds us, character is revealed in what we refuse. Two challenges for Naga today. We come to the present. This commemoration should not devolve into a mere social ritual. May this commemoration serve a continuous pro-memoria to be better each time, like Barlin. May I therefore pose two questions for everybody. Is there something in your life, be it a responsibility, a calling, you are tempted to abandon because it has become difficult? Barlin's answer is clear. Do not leave your post. Greatness is not proven in ease, but in endurance. Barlin was exiled to Siruma not because he failed, but because he succeeded too visibly for a system that was not yet ready to honor him. He did not rage. He went to the fishermen, he served them, he waited, not passively but faithfully, and faithfulness eventually could not be ignored. We live in a time when many of our people are experiencing their own siruma. Professionals passed over because they refused to play the game, public servants sidelined because they would not take the bribe, young people told that excellence without connection is not enough. To all of them, Barlin says, your siroma is not your ending, it is your formation. The good soldier does not abandon his post because the assignment is obscure. He serves obscurity with the same fullness he would bring to glory because God sees both equally. My friends, when was the last time any of us refused something significant for the sake of fidelity? When did we last say no to a comfortable compromise, a convenient silence, a rewarding betrayal of principle? This city has tradition of that kind of courage. That is why the whole nation watched Naga during the years of Mayor Jesse Robredo. It is why the Archdiocese of Cáceres has historically been a prophetic voice and not merely a ceremonial presence. That tradition did not begin with us. It began with men like Jorge Barlin, who understood that some telegrams must be sent even when the cost of sending them is real. Naga, this is your moment. A Barlin-worthy Naga is a Naga where its young are taught that excellence needs no corruption to succeed, where the church remains prophetic in the public square, where the poor are subjects of justice, not merely objects of charity, where even a barefoot boy from fishing village can become a bishop if properly mentored and fiercely faithful. That Naga is possible. Barlin proved it. Sancho proved it. The question is whether we will also prove it. Today, we have seen the laying of the wreath at Barlin's monument, but a real tribute should be a people who persevere, a people who refuse compromise, a people who go first. That is the living monument Bishop Barlin deserves. May he pray for us. May we be worthy of his legacy. Diyos mabalos, mabuhay si Bishop Jorge Barlin, mabuhay ang Naga.
Thank you very much, Reverend Father Wilfred Almoneda, the Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Cáceres. We wish to acknowledge the presence of our former Congressman and the City Mayor of Naga, Cho Rocco, together with his wife, our former City Councilor, Badet Rocco. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we now listen to the message of our City Mayor, the Honorable Maria Leonor Herona Robredo.
Mabalos, maray na hapon po sa Indogabos. Bago po ako magpadagos ang sa kuyang pagtaong galang sa mga kairiba po ngunya na hapon, sa pangingenot po kan mga kairiba kong mga serbidor sa lokal na gobyerno Kanaga. Inot sa Gabos ang very passionate na chairman kan sa tong Arts, History and Culture Council. Si Councilor, Permi naglalog sa isip ko ang boses ni Gabi Bordado na David, Casper, Nathan, Sergio. Maswerte po kita na ang passion niya na itulod talaga. Ini yung mga siring na mga leksyon para sa mga taga-Naga Perming yaon. Councilor Jude Jokno, Councilor Jefferson Felix, maugma po kita na nakaiba ng tango niya na hapon ang sa tong former mayor, former Congressman Cho Rocco, saka former Councilor Badet Rocco. Ayaon po ang sa tuyang City Director, Colonel Gilbert Fariñas. Siyempre po ang sa tong Vicar General, si Reverend Father Wilfred Almoneda, representing the Archdiocese of Nueva Cáceres. Ayaon po ang sa tuyang Imperial Family, nakaiba ng Tamanggiraray, si Dr. Ronnie. Bareta ako, Dr. Ronnie, ika ang chairman, kang board, kang Imperial Family. Kunya ko lang nga naaraman na Imperial ka pala. Yaon po si satuyang matibayon na keynote speaker, Mr. Leo Paulo Imperial. Gulpi kitang nanodan sa halipot na tinukdo niya sa tuya, kunya na hapon. Yaon po ang satuyang mahiguson sa kamatibay na Provincial Director kan DTI na miyembro mampalan kang Imperial Clan, Provincial Director J. Ablan, si Gabusta pong pag-iribangon yan, mabalos sa Philippine National Police, sa PSO, sa SEPIO, sa pagpanginot kan sa tuyang okasyon ngunyan. Siguro po, medyo extensive na seleksyon sa buhay ni Jorge Barlin, Bishop Jorge Barlin, ang naitukdo sa tuya. Pero siguro sa kuya, ang iheheras ko na lang pasain ang mga araw ganing selebrasyon as far as the city government of Naga is concerned. Bago pa po kami nagturukaw, kami pong mga miyembros kang lokal na gobyerno kang Naga, nagkaigo po kami ning halabang proseso para ideterminar kung ano si mga targets kang syudad in the next 3 years. Saro po sa gusto tang tawanan doon, iyo ang pagpararom. Iyo ang pagpararom kang arts, history, saka culture digdi sa Naga. Ini pong mga araw kaning selebrasyon, haloy tanaman ginigibo. Pero siring kang pig point out ni Father Wilfred Almoneda, pakatapos ka mga selebrasyon na ini, ano si Adal na nanudan. Lalo na po ang ngunyan, nagpupuo na mag-flourish si arts and culture digdi Sanaga. Pero ang history kaya, garo, nakareserba siya sa mga intellectually elite. Ano? Garo, nakareserba siya sa academe, nakareserba siya sa mga history advocates, pero garo di masyadong natatawanan ning, di masyadong napapopularize. Pag di siya napopularize, sayang na maray ang mga leksyon na tinatao sa tuya. Ako po, extensive na din sa reflections na tinao ni Father Subago, pero siguro sa kuya as a public official, igwa akong duwang leksyon, garo mark. Kada ko leksyon, pero siguro pagpagirumdum dahil sa buhay niya. Ang number 1, mayo man sa dit na assignment. Itong pagsirbi ni Bishop Barlin sa Siruma, siguro sa mga magagayon ang mga assignment kadto, para sa inda, garo sa dit na maray na assignment ang Siruma. Pero si Father po correctly pointed out, na bako itong sadit dahil iyo to sinag-shape kang sa iyang pagkatao. Siyempre kadakol factors ang nag-shape. Pero mayo bagang nagtitibay, mayong nagtatagas pag mayong kadipisilan. Siguro si kadipisilan na inagihan niya sa Siruma, pati si pagiging nameless sa faceless niya, iyo si nag-shape kang buong pagkatao niya. Which brings me to the next lesson na siguro kitang mga public servants, permiyan pigigirumdum, na importanteng matibay, importanteng mahigos, importante, lalo na po sa itong mga politiko, importanteng kada eleksyon ang gagana kita. Pero pag hiniling ta, bako lang si buhay ni Bishop Barlin. Pero pag hiniling ta, si mga pigmimirartang mga inspirasyon in the long years of our history. Ang perming nangingibabaw si karakter. Gabus nagpe-fail in comparison sa karakter. Iyan siguro si pinaka-challenge sa to gabus na kadakol kitang mga angat na aagihan na ang mga angat na yan perming bigta-test an sa tuyang karakter. Lalo na siguro kitang mga politiko na permi nag-aambisyon nga ning manggana sa eleksyon. Paminsan ang perming garubaga crossroads ta permi para manggana sa eleksyon, what are we willing to give up? Si eleksyon sa buhay ni Bishop Barlin, pigpapagirumdum kita na siguro more than winning elections, pinaka-importante na solid ang satuyang pagkatao. Tayo talaga yan si matauning dakulang leksyon sa mga masunod sa tuya. Kaya lugod, si sa iyang buhay, mas gulpi pang mga nagenyo ang makaaram, lalo na si mga hoben. Naugma ako kan sinabi kan sa tuyang keynote speaker, na igwana ning attempt ngunyan na kang Ched, na magkaigwan ning kurso on Bicol history and culture. Pero siguro more than that, magkaigwan ning partnership with DepEd. Nadawa mga hubin pa sana. Bako lang si mga buhay kang sa tuyang mga heroes, local heroes. Pero pati si pagpagirumdum kang values na dapat na itanalilingawan. Kami po na nasa lokal na gobyerno kang syudad, nahihiling mi sa erosion. Iba na ang mga kaakian ngunyan, nakaipuhan, deeply embedded sa eskwelahan. Si pagpapagirumdum sa inda kung ano si mga dapat na isinasabuhay. Kanlambang Nagenyo, kanlambang Bicolano. So iyo po ni ang pagmauta, na sa pagselebrar takan buhay niya, sana mas tinatawanan taning rarum, pigsisiguro tan na nagigibo kita ning gulping paagi para bako lang kita nakakadangog kan si istorya kang keynote speaker ta. Pero gabus kita, gabus na lalo na si mga kaakian, nakakanood sa iyang buhay. Sa parte man po kan lokal na gobyerno kang syudad, parte kang pagpapararom na iniyo, si pagdeklara kang iniyo pong pinaka-historical na parts kang syudad bilang heritage district kang syudad. Ang hinihiling ta po, pupunan ta duman sa may Tabuco Bridge, na iyo si pinaka-site, ito ba may Oragon Monument ngunyan, iyo si pinaka-site kang pinaka-inot na government center. Digdiyo sa Naga, pati si cathedral dati, ay pati simbahan na, main na simbahan yaon man duman sa may market ngunyan, puun duman hanggang digdi sa may cathedral. Iyo siguro heritage corridor kang Naga. In fact, ngunyan na taon, ibinalita sa satong budget ang pag-redesign ka ining Barlin Street para mapuna na si pagpuon kang heritage corridor kang Naga. Saro po sa mga advice sa tuya. Kadakol kitang monumento na data man aram kung ano sinda. Siguro ining monumentong iniyo, napaka-significant niya pero pig-aagi-agihan lang na minsan di nga ni aram kan mga taga-Naga kung kisay na monumento ini. Pareho man yan kan si celebration mi kang buhay ni Wenceslao Vinsons. Ang istorya ni Councilor Nathan, di nga ni nag-aararam na igo pa lang siyang monumento na yaon sa laog kang Naga Central School. Jomapa pala, Jomapa. Si Jose Maria Panganiban, na sayang na ang monumento yaon dyan, pero di ita natataonan din ng magkakanigong pag-undra saka importansya. Ito pong nagtatabang sa tuya na urban planner, na hiling niya tulos ini. Na igwa na nga ni siyang recommendation kung paano gigibuhon. Ang recommendation niya, hiwasan iniyo para maging Garo Barlin small plaza. Bako lang siyang monument na nakatindog. Pero gulping kaipuhan gibuhon, may mga data pa yun magigibungon yan dahil kadakol na redesigning ang gigibuhon. Pero ang sa iyang advice, pagdaayos na ang considerably maayos na ang traffic, tagada nun ang sarong tinampo para mahiwasan ini. Ang sarong pig-iinitan niya ini, data nga ni nahihiling na ang JSIS building, renowned na architect pala ang nagibukayan, na pigsasabi ka tong sa tuyang urban planner na kaipuhan maprotekta yan. Kinaulay ta na po kaya ang GSIS. Ang sabi kan GSIS, ang sabi niya kaya dapat nga ikampanya nindo na ma-preserve iniyo, ma-enhance, ma-preserve, pero sana da ipagabaon. Ang sabi man kan GSIS na di inindayan ipapabakal, ipaparent lang ninda. Pero si mga advice sa tuya kan si nagtatabang sa tong urban planner, pwede ngayon Garo Heritage Hotel o Heritage Building. Kung may gusto mag-invest, maray ko ta Garo iyo na si Luke kaini yung intirong Barlin Street. Nagpapasalamat po kita sa Rocco family na si Harong Ninda dyan na preserve pero didikit na lang. Didikit na lang si mga old houses na na-preserve. Gulpi na si modern buildings. Tigdiyo sayang data nagkaaragapan. Pero day pamanhuri ang gabos. So gusto ta pong i-review si gabos na existing ordinances and maipasa si mga dapat para siguruhon lang na we are able to preserve what's left of our history. Para po iyan dakulang leksyon man para sa mga kaakian sa Naga. So nagpapasalamat po kita. Ka-birthday ko po si Jorge Barlin. Si dapat po ko tang event ka iniyo kang ka-birthdayhan niya mismo pero nabaritaan ta po na din event sa Baaw. Kaya po we decided to hold it this afternoon. Pero mapasalamat po kita sa Imperial family for honoring our invitation to attend this event. Takulang bagay po sa Muya, sa lokal na gobyerno kang syudad, na kasaro mi kamo sa pagrumdum kan sa iyang buhay. Kaya mabalos po sa Indo, Father, mabalos pong maray, mabuhay po kamo.
Thank you very much, Mayor Lenny Robredo. And to conclude our program, may we request everyone to please stand for the singing of the Heart of Bicol March. Thank you very much. And that concludes our commemoration of the 176th birth anniversary of Bishop Jorge Barlin. At this point, we invite our city officials for a group photo op in front of the monument of Bishop Barlin. We invite the Imperial family to join our city officials. Reverend Father Wilfred Almoneda, our city councilors. Sir Leo. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1. We also invite our former city mayor and congressman, Cho Rocco, together with former city councilor, Badet Rocco, to join the party. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much to the Imperial family and to Mayor Rocco and Councilor Badet. May we request our city officials to please remain, and Father Almoneda and City Director. May we invite the personnel of the Naga City Police Office to join our city officials for group photo op. Okay, double time po. Sir, sa baliyo, pwede po. Position na lang po kita. Digdi sa left side nyo. Ang iba, digdi sa baliyo. Para balance eh. Natatauban kang postes, di ba? Digdi na ka mo sa baliyo, sir. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you very much to the Naga City Police Office. And lastly, Mayor Lenny, may we request our team from the SEPIO to join our city officials. SEPIO team and our OJTs from Ateneo. Double time, please. Eman, join ka na.